Hey, good morning or good afternoon, Bumble Jeepers. It's Sunday um, afternoon. I have to look at my other phone. 3:06, October 25th. I got just a little project I want to do on the Bumble Jeep today. Get some lights back here. Nothing major. I just felt like I should get something done, and it's a fairly simple project. I was just There we go. Just wanted to get some lights on. So a while back, oh, oh, there's the other one. Okay. Oh, wow, that was, sorry. Didn't mean to do that. So, again, what is going on here? Oh, grabbed the wrong bags. So, let's see if I can get it in the picture here. I spin you right round, baby. All right, I don't know if you can see from here. Let's see if we can get a little closer. Yeah, those are my front spots underneath the bumper there. And I got new brackets. I ordered them off of Amazon. It's the same brackets that came with them new. So what I got here, oh, I did tighten it, yeah, but they're horrible brackets. They don't hold up. So the first time I mounted them, what I did was I drilled a hole and I tried to put a helicoil in it, and it worked-ish, but not really that well. So when I got and I tried it nutserts, and I got the nutserts in, but I didn't get them. I didn't have the tool at the time, so when I put them in, I didn't get them tight enough. And so what happens is the nutsert just spins in the bumper. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to remove those from the old brackets. I'm going to trash the old brackets. I got new brackets here from Amazon, and the mounting hardware looks a little bit different. So I'm going to open one of these up here quick. Let's see if I can find a place to set you down. Yeah. Okay, that'll have to work. So you're sitting on rad support for my Jeep. So anyhow, there's a hack. When you get these Ziploc bags, just take the top and squeeze them and it opens them right up. So the way these work is not very well. So I'm going to try and do something different. I don't know how much of this you can see. There's the profile. So when you put this on the bracket, it goes with this curved part facing the Jeep and the open part facing ahead. Put this bolt in, and this bolt is captured. See if I can get that in there in the track. That doesn't really work that well. So I'm going to try and do something different, because when you do this, then you get your nutsert in there or your threaded hole, whatever, and as you screw this in, when you get to the point where it's getting tight, you may not be facing forward, or the light may not be facing forward. So I'm going to try and do this with a washer so that I still have plenty of thread there for engagement. Get my finger out of the way. I still have plenty of thread in there for engagement. I'm going to have the washer sit on this face here and use that to clamp, so I can actually put this bracket in the position I want with it facing forward and tighten this up. And I'm not relying on being able to rotate this the proper amount to get it tight and have the light facing forward so it doesn't come loose. I'm also going to put some red Loctite on there. So that's the plan. So in the meantime, I gotta get a creeper over here. Why am I zip-locking it back shut? I didn't know. And try and get those off. Oh, sorry. Try and get those off of there, and then if I have to cut the wires, it's no big deal. I have the shrink tube style connectors, so I'll just do that. Cut out the old connectors. I think originally when these things, when I got them, they came with a bayonet style connector. And here, I have these. These are a heat shrink. So you put your wires in and you use a lighter or a little torch or a heat gun, whatever, and the ends shrink around the wire and seal everything up really nice. So I cut the wires off, get the lights out of there, get the old brackets out, grind off the heads of the previous nutserts, and put new ones in, and hopefully this time with the tool, the actual nutsert tool, they'll get tight enough that they won't spin in the hole when I'm trying to tighten the bolt up. So, all right, that's the project for today. I don't know if I'm going to try and do anything else. It's after, like I said, it's after 3 o'clock. Not that motivated at this present time to do a lot on this thing. I still have the issue with the power steering belt, or the power steering pump, not being quite right. I contacted Dan over at Project Dan H, and he is checking to see if he has the correct bracket for the front here that has an adjuster, and the adjuster on that one would be different than this one. So anyhow, I can live with the squeaking. It's not as bad as it was when I first put that on there. I can also pull the pump off and grind a little more on the back side of the bracket. I don't know if you can see this, but in the light, you can see where the belt used to be on the water pump pulley there, and where it is now. It's about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more further forward. So that's what's causing the squeak. So I can pull this piece off and relieve the back of it more to get that back. And there's 3 of these mounting holes on this intake. And I can actually go in the bottom and put a marker through, so I can drill a hole in this and then put a bolt in that, take the pump out of here. One thing I've noticed in a lot of these videos, they don't remove anything but the pump. So what I've done when I did mine, this is 2 bolts, a 7mm here and a 7mm here, and this unplug it here, and then this whole thing just lifts right out, and you get a whole lot more room here to work, and you're not like trying to jam your hands in there. So just a little, if you guys are thinking about doing that intake swap, and to be honest, I like it. It's running a lot smoother. It's running, I haven't really checked the fuel economy, because every time I do, I forget to either write the mileage down or reset my tripometer. So this next tank that's I put in, I'm at a little below half right now. So when I decide to fill it up next time, I will try and get a mileage thing to tell. Now, to be fair, you're always going to get better mileage on a trip. I don't take this thing on a lot of trips. Basically, I just drive around campus here, and it's, a mile here, 2 miles there, 3 miles somewhere else. The most I ever drive it is around here is to Walmart, which is, 5 minutes away, or Lowe's, which is 6 minutes away, and the gas station is probably the furthest I go. I did yesterday. It was such a beautiful Sabbath afternoon. I did decide they've opened up the Game Lands Road across the top of the mountain to the north of us here. And the fire road goes up over the top, and you go up off a mountain road and then drive up the zigzag road to the top, and then you drive along the top and you come out down behind Charlottesville. It's a beautiful drive. It's bumpy as all get out. I thought about, turning the camera on, but it does this so much. I really didn't figure that anybody would enjoy that. But anyhow, enough yapping. Let's get to work. Sorry. I'm an idiot. Actually, I just have fumble thumbs. So I had it on pause, and I went to unpause it and do a progress, and here we are. So starting a new one. So this is going to be part 2, which is fine, because 6-7 minutes is plenty. So I'm over here, and you can see I got the lights off, and I'll go under here. Now, the one on this side here, the bracket screws right out after I tried to grind the head off, and it's a square-headed bolt that came with the original brackets. So, or what I found to use after they came loose the first time. Anyhow, on this side, I'll take it down here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there's the hole where the old nutsert was. So I ended up using this little beast. I love this thing. I don't love it, but I really enjoy using it. It's been very, there we go. This thing's a monster. So that bolt on that side was so loose I could get the blade right between the bracket and the bumper. Didn't really do any damage, significant, nothing a little spray paint won't touch up. Cut it right off, knocked the thing in with a punch and a hammer. And yes, I'm ashamed to admit, I might as well show you. This is one of the few hammers in my toolbox. It's an old, I think it's a craftsman. Might not be, it might be something else, who knows. I saw a video where somebody made a comment on one of the toolbox review things that no self-respecting mechanic would have a claw hammer in their toolbox. Well, you use what you got. So time to break out the nutsert and the nutsert tools, nutserts and nutsert tool. Put that in there and then see what we can do. Fit the new brackets and take it from there. So I'm going to try this again. I know which one to push to pause it. It's just, this is my boogered up finger. I don't know how much you can see, but it's boogered up pretty bad. So when I came in here to hit the pause button or the unpause button, once it's paused, it hit the stop button instead. So back to work. Hey, got the right button this time. So anyhow, the new nutsert's in. Took a minute. So wanted to show you, I may have done this in a tool review, but this is the kit that I bought off of Amazon. It's a Rex Betty. I don't know. This is what it is right here. See that? Yeah, there you go. Anyhow, great tool. And it came with a bunch of nutserts. And this is, I used the M8. And all of these, it's got 5, 6, 7, or 5, 6, 8, 10, quarter 20, 5/16, 18, and 10/24 nutserts. And that's pretty much what it came with. Useful, very useful. I bought extras, the sizes I needed. So for state inspection, I had to do this a while back, and I did part of the video on it, but I had to put the front flares on for inspection because, if you look, let's go straight down. Yeah. See, the tires can't stick out past in Pennsylvania. So in the front, I had to put those on, and I am getting spacers for the front because if I turn it all the way to lock, it does rub a little bit, and I don't like it, so I'm going to probably put 2-inch spacers on it. The back, I don't know if you can see down. Yeah, no poke on the back tires, so they're fine. And the reason I didn't put the back flares on, it does look a little weird with just the front flares on. But what I plan on doing is making a set of flat flares for this. I don't know if I haven't decided yet on steel or aluminum. I'd really like them to be aluminum, but I want to make them so they bolt up to the factory mounting holes for the retainers that the factory flares, the plastic flares came on. I don't want to cut this. I've said it before. I keep saying it. I am not cutting the body on this. This is untouched. It's going to remain untouched as far as that goes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the nut certs in these holes and bolt the flat flares on when I get them done. I've never welded aluminum. I'm not super great with steel. I can get by. Show you a little project I did last week for the shop class here. This was a clothes rack. It was about this high, had a bar going across, and it was at least twice as long as that. I cut it down. I welded it down there, welded it there, put those extensions on. And this is a nice working height for the diff, so the instructor here in the class can explain things to them. They scuffed it off with wire brushes, went to town on it, about 4 or 5 of the kids, and then they rattle canned it with just black paint to make it look a little better. And as you can see, they're okay. Not ashamed of them, but I'm not proud, but they work. So, and then I did made these little pedestals for this to bolt on. And it's on wheels, so it rolls around. So that's the extent of my welding with steel. I've done it in body work. The first welds I made on that thing last week, somebody had turned the gas off on the MIG welder. This is our little 110 gas MIG welder. It's a Miller-Matic 140. Nice little welder, does a great job for what we use it for here in the shop. I actually welded my catalytic converter in with that. But yeah, so gonna try aluminum maybe for the flat flares on the Jeep, and we'll see how that comes out, but not today. So I got the nut cert in, gonna get the lights mounted back up and see if I can get them to look right this time. All right, back to work. Okay, so I'm gonna have to load these into OBS Studio, OSB, OBS, whatever, and try and stitch them all together. Battery got below 30% or got to 30% and the thing automatically shut off, so I had to fire it back up, tried to fire it back up and start recording again, and recorded 1 or 2 seconds and shut the phone off again. So I hooked to the charger right now in my toolbox, and it's up around 32-33%. So anyhow, long story short, I had to remove the thread cert from the passenger side as well and put a new one in. Apparently the threads got buggered up a little bit, and when I was trying to put the new bracket in, didn't want to go. So got the saw out and cut the head off the nut and put a new one in. I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do with the bolts and put a washer in and kind of span that so I could tighten them up with a wrench as opposed to spinning them in with the bracket. I did use lock washers this time though. I couldn't find my thread locker, so that's not in there. Hopefully I crank like crazy on the little Allen bolts that hold the light to the bracket. And so everything seems nice and tight. I have them aimed down as far as they'll go. I'm really not crazy about those brackets, but I wasn't able to find anything on Amazon or any place else that would allow me to mount these lights to a different bracket. So while they're plenty bright and they work great, um, I don't know if you noticed when I had to, excuse me, when I had the camera up close that there was some moisture inside of them. Um, the only reason that's in there is where the wire goes through to whatever's inside those lights, the circuit board or the LED board, whatever it is. There's a grommet that pulls out and allows the moisture to go in, and it pulled out on mine because, well, I hit a deer last year at Thanksgiving and knocked the one wonky, got it sort of pointed back in the right direction, and doesn't seem to hurt the functionality of them. They still come on. All of the LEDs are still lit. They're still plenty bright. They're a huge help going down the road. And they're aimed low enough so they shouldn't bother oncoming. Yep. So, like I said, they're both nice and tight. Let's see if I can't really tell much from here. But they're straight again. They're both pointed straight ahead. And like I said, I couldn't use the washer idea, so I had to turn them in by hand, and then when they got to a certain point, I had to tap them around with my claw hammer. Yeah, I know. It was either that or a body hammer, and I had the claw hammer there, so it was, it was handy, so I used it. Like I said, you use what you got. So I'm not going to do anything else on the Bumble Jeep today. At some point, I do want to move the brackets for the lift cylinders on the hood under the hood hinge bolts, where the hood hinge bolts to the hood, just to make it a little stronger. It lifts the hood plenty high. It's really nice not having to use a prop rod on the hood. That was a kit that I bought on Amazon. It was like 25 bucks. If you just go on Amazon and look for hood prop kit or gas prop kit for a hood, whatever, you'll find it. It comes with all the mounting hardware. I didn't use the mounting hardware that came with it. I used nut certs and 10mm bolts to mount it to both the hood and the inner fender. It's just a little tricky figuring out your mounting locations. So anyhow, that's going to be it for today. Hopefully I'll be able to get these 3 videos into OBS Studio and get them all stitched into one video. You gotta learn. It's something. A friend of mine said if he didn't learn something every day, he felt like he had a wasted day. So don't waste a day. Learn something new every day, even if it's OBS Studio. If you're a YouTuber, it's probably one of the best free, what do they call that, open source packages out there for doing your YouTube videos. So it allows you to put pictures in, which I haven't figured out how to do because I'd love to do that. I have a ton of progress videos on Project Bumble Jeep that I'd love to put together, like a little slideshow on there. So maybe in the near future, who knows. So that's it for today. This is Frank signing off from Project Bumble Jeep. Take care, God bless, and stay well.